Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. All right, welcome to another episode of Teamster Power Reality Check. We got about 25 people on the podcast today. No, just kidding, just a couple. First, we got Mike Moxley, President of Local 29 out of Virginia. We got Eric Johnston, Teamster since 1984 out of Local 190. And Hannibal Agular, 29-year Teamster steward out of Local 396. How's everybody doing today?
Great. Great.
All right, nice. So today, we're going to talk about Roadie. We're going to talk about business being taken away from us. And I'm gonna hand this over to Hannibal. Your thoughts on it, your experiences with it.
Well, I'm from Southern California, and for a while now, drivers have been sending me labels. They said, "Hey, Hannibal, I know you're our steward. I just got this package from Home Depot, and it was delivered by somebody in a normal car." And I said, "Well, take a picture of it, send it to me. Let's see what we can do." At first, you would go to the local, and the local would see, "Well, it's not too bad. We have DoorDash delivering same day deliveries too," which I don't know if you guys have that in your area.
Yeah.
But so it was told that. So, we kept compiling it because after a while, drivers knew that was work being taken out of their trucks. This past week, the union has actually started to talk about Roadie and telling people to compile the pictures. So I'm sure that's being worked on right now, but it's been, I don't know how many years that Roadie's been around, maybe a year or two.
It's 21
packages. Yeah. So the inaction is what's got me on this Reality Check podcast. And I'm here to just let everybody know, especially in my local and everybody's local in all of the United States, that Roadie is taking our packages. Markin and all the healthcare companies that Carol Tomei is setting up so that they can take more of our work away, it's got to stop. And no matter what side of the spectrum you are, if you're a far-right MAGA or left-leaning Marxist, we have to join together as Americans and American workers so that we can actually take our work back and say enough is enough.
Yeah, no, it's agreed. So basically, Roadie is like they're gig workers, right? We say that gig workers, independent contractors, right? They have to get their own health insurance. They have to do everything, and they want to do it. UPS wants to do it where it's cheaper, right? And it's stealing it directly from us, pickups and deliveries. And the problem is, it's what is it? By the end of the year, it's going to be in 30 cities. I think they said,
Yeah.
Something like that. They've already taken, like we stopped doing with the Amazon stuff, right? And they want to keep taking stuff away, and then they want to do this. It's a sneaky thing. I mean, it's covered in so many articles in the contract, right? I'm sure there'll be a grievance. We'll just call it like that, and basically all that apply in this. And the bottom line is they're crying poverty, but they're putting us in this position, right? By taking the work away. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's all to just, get the cheaper work,
I mean,
non-union people.
The IBT thing, I kind of disagree with that because honestly, I think these fuckers knew about it. This company was purchased by UPS in 2021. And then after that, like I said, I took a grievance to the panel, and then I'm told to basically open up my contract book and read page 1 by this one panel guy named Toad. And basically he goes through and lets me know that the only thing that we have control of is basically right here, page 1, if anybody wants to read it, right? So that's the other problem. I mean, the IBT right now that's in this, that is in there right now, they knew that this was coming. They knew that UPS was going to do all this stuff. like with right now with the tractor trailers, 53 footers going down the road from a location that my guys used to pick up from and then would carry it to another facility. They found a cheaper way to do it to appease the customer. The customer states to me that they never asked for this in any fashion. They just said, hey, can we get it there quicker? UPS is the one that's doing this. Carol Toomey is a union buster. That she truly is a union buster. Everybody has to realize that, remember that. She is working away. This right here is union busting 101. Because if we go to a strike in the next one, she has more leadway in the next in this next contract, because she can basically tell us to go screw off, and she can get these roadie people to deliver. Why? Because they're like, hey, I got a job. The union's not doing theirs right now, and they're giving me a bunch of packages, and I'm making $200-300 an hour. The problem is that those people aren't paying attention, that they're using their own vehicles. That they're having to pay for their own maintenance. They're having to pay for their own fuel. They have no insurance, and this is the problem. It's uneducated people, number one, that don't know what a union is for, and then you got UPS playing into the hands of this, and on top of it, you have the fucking IBT who does not want to stand up and say something. So.
Yeah.
Sorry for my rant,
but yeah,
no, you're right,
Mike. I totally agree with you. I don't think Toad knows how to read, because Jeff, could you read? I don't have it in front of me. Article 1, Section 4, because I believe it's illegal for UPS to set up a light company like UPS. Roadie specifically is set up to deliver packages just like UPS. It shouldn't even be allowed to do that. That should have been an NLRB charge or Department of Labor charge right out of the gate to prevent them from doing this.
I got it right here.
They're breaking the whole contract, are they not? Or am I misinterpreting this?
Yeah, read that. Yeah.
Article
No,
1, Section 4.
absolutely.
The employer agrees that it will be a violation of this section if any affiliate or any other entity under its control is into a business so as to duplicate the employer's common carrier operations as defined in Article 1 in any area. Affiliate for purposes of this section means any entity which is owned, managed, or controlled by the employer or its parent. The section will also cover an entity if the employer or its parent maintains the ultimate right to control or approve a decision by such entity. The employer will be financially responsible for all losses resulting from the violation of this section.
So they should owe us all back wages for the all of the benefits we've lost, the pension contributions we've lost, and all of the layoffs and people out of work with past due bill notices. It's crazy.
Subcontracting,
you know what this
all of it.
Result of? It's all a result of weak leadership from Sean O'Brien on down. These guys haven't addressed the damn camera issue. They haven't addressed the roadie issue, subcontracting, not one effing thing. But you know what he does like to address? If somebody sends an improper email, or we want to bring charges on somebody because he's a little girl. He's a little, oh man.
So the thing that gets me on this is that, this is pretty plain language. Like, and we brought this up on our Article 1 podcast we did about a couple months ago, that, things like Roadie directly violate this contract. But
they want the canceled check. Remember that.
They want the canceled check. Exactly. So my problem here is that since Sean O'Brien has essentially buddied up to the current presidential administration in this country, like he can't turn around now and say. I mean, he totally should turn around and start fighting him because he's already put himself in this position. So where are we? Like, we don't have an NLRB, or we're not going to for the next. We'd be lucky if the NLRB even exists by 2028, by the time our next contract comes up, let alone...
Oh, right now it doesn't exist.
And right now it might as well not.
Because, the government separates.
Nothing can be advanced past the NLRB. If we have a problem with something going on, if we have a charge in the NLRB, we can't then take it past it to the Supreme Court. Not that the Supreme Court would rule in our favor, but we can't take it past that without the NLRB making a ruling. And the NLRB can't make a ruling when they don't have a quorum.
And it's worse than that even, because if you look at it, we got a CEO hack running OSHA. That's the former CEO of Republic Airlines, who was a non-safety piece of crap. Then you got you've got I'm sorry, not OSHA. OSHA is being run by a former UPS
UPS,
and Amazon, and Republic
Yeah.
Air is the head of the FAA.
Yeah.
These are all CEO corporate hacks that are put in positions that are anti-union and anti-labor. What could possibly go wrong?
And if I may, like, I'm going to disagree a little bit with Mike here. Is that, you know, if we say we come up in the next contract and we do strike, like we should have struck in the last contract, but you know, and she's gotten the opportunity to line up. Like, I'm not going to sit here and blame the Roadie people for doing it. Like, obviously, I'm going to be out there picketing with everybody else, and I'll happily have a conversation with anybody that's trying to do our work in lieu of us. But, you know, these people, they don't know any better. We don't teach, you know, workers' rights in America. We never have. I didn't get taught them coming up. It's a thing that's completely lost in this country. It's like the people, the middle class, us, the middle class and the poor, we make this country run. The MBAs, they do nothing. A master's of business is somebody. All it does is say, "Hey, I can stay in school for a certain amount of years. I can go to classes for a certain amount of years." Business degree is the most worthless degree in this country that you can get. All it does is put you into a position and as above people, and you have no idea what they do. And that's the same problem UPS is having right now. They're hiring too many MBAs, too many people off the street to run these centers, run these sorts, that have no idea how to actually do the work.
Yeah. I want to interject here. In my building, we had a driver just last week that was told to go pick up a delivered Roadie package and then deliver it. So, in my opinion, where does Roadie begin and where does UPS end? Because if we're picking up their misdelivered packages, then what's going on here? What's the real story about Roadie?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I wanted to get some of my union brothers and sisters to actually go to fairs just to educate the children of why a union is good for them, why they're not working because of a Teamster, why they have that their parents are with them on a Saturday and Sunday, hopefully because maybe their parents don't have to work 2 or 3 jobs, but they're home with them, and that's because of a Teamster. I think that throughout time, the billionaires have gotten the ear of the American people, and it's time for us as workers to take it back. It's time for us to educate them and let them know why a union is a good thing. But we can't do it if our union's not good.
Yeah,
we can't do it.
Yeah, you're right. And listen, we have to. We've always said this, Garfield, myself. We have to prepare the next generation, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you have to. And the problem here is what they're seeing is a leader who is not being a leader. I mean, he's being everything but a leader. He said well, we know what's happening. We didn't shut down automation. Then, this thing with Roadie, where it starts and where it ends. I don't understand why it took this long for them to realize that, or even to say anything about it. That should have been at the top of the list, because this is the kind of stuff that could just throw everything up in the air. I don't know why other things have taken precedent. I don't know why our president of the Teamsters isn't up in arms when they're doing this. Didn't say anything when they took the head of the NLRB out, right? Why didn't he say anything? He didn't say a word. He didn't say a word when they took the federal government, all those workers, no more bargaining.
Almost a million bargaining unit workers.
Not a word.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
almost a million bargaining unit workers in the federal government. Yeah. Nothing. Not a word.
When you endorse a labor secretary that has voted against union and workers of the United States 91 or 92% of the time, then that goes to show you that we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it not negotiated that SurePost will be given back to package car drivers. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Then how the fuck are they giving SurePost back out and just relabeling it as
it's Ground Saver Plus?
Yeah.
It's Ground Saver Plus. It's not.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Ground
saying.
Saver Plus.
And didn't they announce? That we're going to start delivering to the post offices again?
Yeah.
Like, so
They
that's
made a deal.
more. That's more routes. That's more routes that are going to get cut. So,
Off of our-
like, where are we at? At what point is our administration with the IBT going to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't let you cut hundreds of workers or thousands of workers from UPS so that you can outsource that work that's rightfully supposed to be ours, to the post office? Like, this is Teamsters 101.
It's not going to change until the Fearless group gets in there, because this current administration isn't going to do anything. We've learned something already over the past several years of the O'Brien administration. They cozy up to power. They make deals for themselves. And about the only people in the Teamsters union that they speak to are the people that are in positions of power that they have influence over, to either kick them up money for their campaign or to do what they say and sit down and shut up and control their members. They forgot an important part: the ants. They forgot the rest of us. They forgot the members, the rank and file. And we're going to get together and we're going to oust this SOB, because it's high time we take our union back from people that snuggle up to billionaires and not the working class. And that's all this clown does.
Yep.
Listen, the important thing is he's of the mindset, and a lot of people around him are of the mindset that it's top down, and we all know it's bottom up, right?
That's right.
That's a fact. That's it. Yeah.
And this country was built on the working class. Like, we come in, we build these companies, we do the work, and all they want to do is take all the profit. That's just where it is. UPS has paid out in record numbers to shareholders, but they want to cry foul that, hey, they don't, Teamsters make too much money.
I think we have to remember one thing, is that we're forgetting the pandemic. We're forgetting that on that Friday, everybody was told to stay home, but we were leaving and we were going out and doing our job.
Oh yeah.
We were doing our job without gloves. We were doing our job without masks. If you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it. But either way, we were doing it with nothing. We were having somebody preload our truck that I don't know how he lives.
Yeah.
And we were around each other like normal. And we were going out there and we were delivering and we were making the United States move.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people have forgot that, I actually think that every single one of us that went out there on that Monday alone are heroes. And
we were told, if you don't show up for work, you're fired.
You're fired. Yeah. And it's funny because Los Angeles, they give you tiers to get your vaccine, and bus and delivery drivers were number 3, and people that did Uber. But yet FedEx and UPS were excluded because technically we don't work amongst the general public. So we worked from the beginning of the pandemic, but yet we were not given the vaccine when we were supposed to. We were just sold out, no matter what. But I think that people that worked during the pandemic has to remember that it was on their backs that the United States kept running.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that. I'm so proud of that.
Absolutely. And you should be.
You don't know something else? Every employee that was retained, like UPS got a credit of like $5,000 to $7,000 for each employee. So they made money on top of making money because, there was more volume, people were ordering stuff, but they got a credit. And none of the essential workers, none of the workers at UPS got any hazard pay. We tried. No one across the country got any hazard pay. What about that?
No.
What about that?
No.
No, we had to fight. We had to fight just to get 2 weeks off if you got COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a division manager, and he likes to. I love it when he throws out stuff about people not showing up to work, because he got COVID and he was off work for 7 months. I was like, did anybody threaten your job while you were sitting at home?
No.
Management. It's management.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
I wanted to thank Hannibal. You sparked something in me with this roadie stuff because I
Thank
started investigating and I started reading language that I hadn't read in a while, to be honest. And as I refreshed myself with it, I just filed a massive grievance on our behalf between the Denver and Billings hubs. That whole corridor on I-25, we've been having packages taken away from us, both the inside hub employees at our Denver facilities. They have an Amazon facility where they label, bag, everything provided by UPS to screw us out of work. And then they put it in subcontracting trucks called ITS, and they run it, basically on a 600-mile turn up to Billings and back, and screw us out of all that feeder work. But they give us the last little leg of the journey, kind of like what we do with the post office with SurePost. And it's like, thanks for nothing. What about all this other stuff? And then you read that language and say, how does this not fit in? They're like, oh, you get this shit out of your business agents, or some business agents, I should say. Oh, it's just it's drop ship. They're allowed to do that. Well, I've got a business agent in Denver now looking into it because we've lost 4 feeder jobs out of Denver on that corridor, a couple out of Billings and a couple out of Casper, equaling about 8 in total. And the volume's down so low, we're pulling single trailers every day. How long is that going to last? And yet we have 2, 3 53-foot trailers from the Amazon facility running up the corridor as we're out of work. And where is Sean O'Brien on any of this stuff? Never nowhere to be found.
I think it's easier for them to do all this to us. UPS, because of the environment that it comes with, people can't afford basic necessities right now. We have tariffs that are decimating our when it comes to paper, that comes from China. When it comes to coffee, that comes from Brazil. Mostly everything that we use comes from another country. So tariffs are going up. People can't afford things. So UPS is using that. Hey, our volume's down. Yeah. Because of the political climate and because of whatever's happening with the United States stability. But what really it is that they're diverting all our work with other companies and other, like Roadie and the Markin, and it's not just me that came up with the idea. I have a lot of good brothers and sisters over here, that are actually fighting and have been talking about Roadie. And it's not just me. It's a whole bunch of people that are bringing this up to their rank and file and letting people know that if we don't fight now, we might not have a job in 2 years.
Here's the problem. You said volume's down. What stats is everyone going off of? Volume's down from what? Are we talking post-COVID, pre-COVID? What are we talking about? Because, and I'm not beating you up. It just agitates me a little bit because I'm a stats guy. Volume is not that bad. Compared to COVID, it is. But if you actually look at volume from pre-COVID to now, we are following the actual suggested
trends
amount of volume. The only volume that went down was COVID. That's the problem. We need to make sure that people understand that UPS's volume is not down because of anything else except for COVID no longer exists. You can't take numbers from a pandemic and then come out and say, "Oh, our volume is down." It is not. Your volume is actually up by 3% each year, which shows. Actually, in statistics, you can look on the Wall Street Journal. You can look up any the statistics on their stock and how much volume they were doing and how much money they were bringing in. They are on target.
Well,
they're on target.
And the problem with that is like in the corporate structure of the United States nowadays is they have to see the number go up. If the number doesn't go up, we're failing. If the number doesn't go up, their business is going under. And because we had, 2 or 3 years there to where the number was just through the roof, they're seeing it come down, and it's like Chicken Little out here. The sky's falling.
Yeah.
And
Well, instead of firing employees or laying them off, maybe
Yeah.
they should start firing all of those damn supervisors that they have.
Listen.
Right now, it's 1-for-1
Yeah.
for supervisors to employees.
You're preaching
And
to the
again-
choir, man. There's the UPS has a bad case of way too money management. They could cut, like, and if you ask me, like, the supervisors aren't even the biggest problem. It's like division managers. You can't tell me that you need as many division managers as you have. There's no fucking way. We've got in our local, we've got what, 4 or 5 division managers?
No.
Yeah.
More.
Is
More.
it? Yeah.
More. Yeah. But again, you say about the volume, it's still, the volume's there, but again, take into account that Roadie volume that's being taken away, right?
Yeah.
And we'd be up, right? But I don't know what Carol's doing. I have no clue. I'm not going to try to even get in that head, but I just, bottom line is it's screwing us, right? It's screwing us. So why? See, we're sitting here with more fight than the president of the Teamsters, right? And, I don't understand. That's the most mind-boggling thing, how he just sits there and says nothing when things are happening to union members on different fronts. It's just nothing. He won't, who he's aligned with. And I don't, it's how is he the president of the Teamsters?
Oh, absolutely. You know what we have to do too? We have to look at some of the language that screws us. Now, when you look at all of this roadie subcontracting, all of it, why in the F does it only have to be at the place of origin where they could file the grievance when people all along the line are subject to job losses, job cuts because of it, and the destination point? If it's only origin, because they handpick this, if you see what I mean. If you can only file a grievance out of a big center like Denver, Colorado, has all this work and a lot of, so nobody's being laid off as much or out of work as much, so it's not on their mind. But if they turn around and they subcontract a bunch of work that they don't then grieve, it could affect all the little podunk places through Wyoming and Montana and into Washington, all the way up the line. And nobody seems to care. And then you go to a business agent and you say, hey, I can prove to you what's being done. I can prove to you that the language is being broken. Well, unless somebody from that local in that origin files, it doesn't count. We can negotiate that to say, no, everybody gets to file a grievance if they're affected. This shit where it's only origin is the most asinine stuff I've ever seen. And it needs to change. We should make that part of our platform because it could be done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so much of this, I think the biggest problem with all of this is so much of this stuff needs to be in new contract language. And this was a problem when our last contract was negotiated, but it was ignored. And if it wasn't ignored, I want to see why. But as far as we can see, it was ignored. And we're not going to get the opportunity to rectify that until 2028. And at this point, the only option we have is to stand up to this administration and force, and if the Fearless Slate can get in here and get elected and stand up, not only against UPS, but for workers' rights around the country. I was having a conversation with someone on Reddit the other day, and they refer to the Teamsters as the strongest union in North America. And I just don't see it.
I think there was agree but disagree. But I think agree and disagree at the same time.
Yeah, I think we should be. We certainly have the most members, I believe, of
we have the potential.
We certainly have the potential, but we don't have the leadership, and that's what we're trying.
The biggest problem is that this union has suppressed its members for so many years. I'm not talking about individual business agents or whatever. I'm just what I've seen, what I've known. You have business agents that are working at the hands of the IBT in suppressing grievances. and not pursuing them. It's so simple, and honestly, because I don't care. I just want people to vote. I don't care who you vote for, but just freaking vote.
100%.
And then here's the thing: if this contract was so astronomical, so great, then why are we at this point right now?
Yeah.
Here's the key things: the cameras. It stated in there that it was supposed to be a strikeable fence. They changed the wording. Not a camera, it's a sensor. I'm not playing semantics over what we're going to call the camera lens that is sticking in the center of it. And I don't have time to explain it to everyone. And honestly, the members need to start doing their own work to look into it to find out if they're actually telling the truth. Stop believing everything that you hear because it's not true. So that's number one. Number two, with the part-timers. Yeah, you gave them a raise. But did you tell them that they were going to be forced to work 6 punch? Now all of a sudden they're finding this out. So is it an astronomical contract that basically everyone's stating that it is? The other part of it is that I read shit on Reddit all the time where people go, oh, well, they just basically put themselves out of a job because of the amount of money. All I say to them fuckers is, why don't you get your ass to the truck and drive around for 14 hours a day and deliver 300 fucking packages and then tell me that I don't deserve to get paid that.
100%.
You can hide behind a fucking keyboard and tell me that I make too much money. Meanwhile, you won't say what you're doing and how much you're making. You just basically want to come out there because you think my job is easy. Well, the thing is, put your money where your mouth is. Get in the truck and do it. Because I guarantee you half the people that sit there and run their mouths about, oh, they're making this much money, ain't nobody going to be able to do it. There's people that have left UPS and went to FedEx because it's so much easier. I'm making fun of FedEx. I just want to make sure of that right now. But it is so much easier, and they don't have to really do half of the shit that UPS drivers have to. A DHL, name any of them. They're all in their leisure. They're not harassed 24/7. You don't have a camera in front of them, just like what's his face said. You go past 2 inches on the white line. They're pulling you in the office and going, oh, well, you pulled past that. Did you look over your shoulder? Did you do left, right, left? Did you put your mirror out? Did you pull it in? I mean, there's so much shit that these guys want you to do. They can literally write you up for anything that they want, anytime that they want, and they have the harassment tools. The cameras were a harassment tool. It is not for safety. It was another way to fire people. That's it.
Mike, to feed off of that, if we had an administration that gave a shit, right, you and I wouldn't have had to raise money to test our own damn cameras, would we? We wouldn't have had to have an OSHA investigation done, would we?
$6,500.
We wouldn't have to have a NIOSH investigation done, would we? We wouldn't have to have a camera survey out there right now asking our members, where the hell has Sean O'Brien been about asking members if they're hurt by cameras and getting surveys?
No,
I'm
they
out there
threaten
every day pushing the surveys and finding out that people have effed up eyes like I do and the side of their face with a tumor removed and people with bad vision and people having things like stroke type symptoms because they're taking medications or acting adversely. Where's Sean O'Brien been about any of that? He wouldn't even return a damn email. So if you think he cares about you on any issue when he doesn't care about health and safety, he couldn't give a shit.
So listen. I'm going to just say something, okay? And the language could have been the best language, right? And again, the money was the big thing for people, and that's what O'Brien was happy about, the big win. But guess what? 85% of the language didn't change. But no matter what the language, if there's no enforcement, what does it matter?
Yeah,
that's
the problem on the national level and the local level.
And I want to get us back to why we decided to do this one on the Roadie and like us and UPS basically taking the work away from Teamsters. We don't, as a Teamster, we don't work for poverty wages. We fought long and hard to be fairly compensated, throughout history, to have 5-day work weeks, to have the 8-hour work day. And, there have been, bloodshed on American soil over the rules that most of America, of the workers' rights that most of America has today. And a lot of that was done by, rail workers, by Teamsters, by the UAW and stuff like that over the course of a century. And we have gotten back to this point to where, like, all of a sudden, us fighting for our rights makes us the bad guy.
Yeah.
And
I want to say one.
Yeah,
I want
go
to say
for it.
one thing. When you have people that are saying like, "Oh, you make a lot of money," or "Yeah, wow, that's a lot of money that you're making," I usually like to tell them that, yeah, and that comes from being a Teamster. That comes from years and years of people fighting for me to make that amount of money. And one thing that being a Teamster is, it's that I hope it for you too. And I want to fight with you so that you could have the same wages. You could have the same pension. You could go home with your family and actually enjoy a vacation instead of having to find another job.
Yeah.
And that's what being a Teamster is. And a good Teamster is someone that wants to fight for you too.
Yes.
So that you could have that wage. And that's the American dream, is when the workers get together and we can enjoy that vacation. We can enjoy a home. And a lot of people see just a bleak outlook on their life right now because a lot of people can't afford anything.
Yeah.
And when I look at them, I tell them, look, this Teamster will fight for you and come with you so that you can make the same as me. And that's what it means. That's what it means. Solidarity. It's not everybody against Teamsters against everybody, or we make more than you, so go fuck off. No, it's I want you to make the same wage. I want you
Yeah,
to have
that's
what
pretty
I
good.
have.
I just had a maxi pad moment. That's all. I get pissed off
Yeah.
when I hear people just just sit behind a keyboard and talk shit, because that's pretty much what our own IBT is doing as well. They got their hired little cronies going out there putting stupid stuff out there.
They
Some
got
of
the
the
big
stuff is
keyboard
insane.
warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the thing is that they won't even come back with the facts, and they just make up shit. And that's what pisses me off. And I can't stand it. I won't stand for it. And my thing is yes, maybe sometimes I'm a little too quick, but I'm gonna call anyone out. I'm not scared. I'm really not. So I'm gonna call anyone out. You want to say something about me or anyone else or about my brothers and sisters? I'm gonna call you back out. And maybe that's something I got to work on. So, but I did like your speech.
Yeah.
No, that was
So listen.
well said.
So we're gonna wrap this up, but I think it's important to everything we've talked about here, and it comes down to like solidarity, right? That's what it comes down to. And we say something at the end of the podcast: strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest stand up for others, right? That is so important because there are a lot of people who aren't going to stand up, and you got to do it for them. I always say, Garfield always says, we always have enough fight for everyone. We do, and we need more people like that. You can't expect the person next to you. We'll help everyone, but people have to start getting on the train, right? And wanting to do it. And, again, it's going to come down to the solidarity, and solidarity is what's going to make things better for us. And coming together, I'm just going to say it, and then we're going to close this out, coming together to vote his ass out. That's it. Okay?
Everybody needs to be fearless. Everyone needs to be
always.
fearless.
I mean, that's a given. Yeah. Be fearless. Absolutely. So I just wanted to say thank you to Hannibal, to Michael, to Eric. I appreciate you coming on. Good podcast. Glad we talked about it. And we're gonna do this again because this is far from over.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I could talk for another 4 hours on this.
Absolutely.
I just want to say, Jeff, I want to tell you guys, you and Garfield, I've been listening to your podcast, and I want to tell you guys, you guys have made me a better shop steward, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. And no matter if it's one person, they're listening, and they're becoming better because of you.
If we affected one person, then
then it worked.
That worked. That was the whole point.
Right here. And thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. So for myself and Garfield, everyone have a good day.
Hey, you too. Thanks.
Thank you.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.